We touched on number 4 just briefly on Friday, and that was build. It is so important for our kids to be, I mean, just think about the lessons that building does. Building is something that's cause and effect, right? Because if I put this here and this here, and I'm trying to make them tall, right? And I stand them up together, but that happens because this is too top heavy, right? So I begin to learn, oh, I gotta have something that's taller here to hold this up, and then I start to problem solve, which means I'm aware of the problem, right? And this is useful, see, and I'm having such a good time already because I'm like, what could I do to make this stand up? And it's trial and error. And it's okay to fail, because when I fail, this is as much as happens, and I might get frustrated, so then I work on the frustration with the child, and I'm working on flexibility. That's a lot of really high cognitive stuff to do, and some executive function things as well, right? So we can make this super duper fun and rewarding. Why do you think Legos are as, popular and have been around as long as they have been? Because it takes a little bit of the frustration out of it, because you can, oh, look what I did. I problem solved. But Legos make it a little bit easier. So you can start with little kids and you can do building blocks. Just the plain old, right? Learning here. This is physics and engineering that's happening right here. This is all STEM stuff here. But start with the basic building blocks with little kids. Remember that play isn't always reinforcing to our kids in and of itself. So we want to pair other things with play that make it fun, and then play will become fun. And don't forget, you want play to be fun because it is something that ultimately, when they're a little bit older in life, can reduce stress. If you're very stressed out, when was the last time you played? Right? Play is a necessary, I know it's not on Maslow's hierarchy of needs, but it should be. So anyway, that's my opinion. Okay, so start with blocks, and you'll notice that some companies, and we've featured some of them here on our toy guide, will make blocks extra reinforcing. Like they'll make them with things inside the block, or things that shake and make a noise. I love the Fisher-Price ones that are clear, and they have little animals that are inside them, or a ribbon or color or whatever. I love the Infantino ones though that are nubby on the outside, and they look like sort of like kind of like advanced Velcro, and you can stick them together so that if you're trying to build a tower and you've got a little one that finds that hard, they stick them together and they stand a little bit better. And then there are just like generic, you can go to any store and get the little wooden blocks, and they have letters on them and animals and colors and numbers. And I'll tell you something, if you have a set of blocks like that around, you're going to use them in an ABA therapy, because you're going to do block imitation, which is a very important skill. It helps build visual mobility. It helps build flexibility. It helps them to look. So what you do is you build a stack of blocks, and then you get them to copy you, just to build just like you did. This is the beginning of playing beside someone that will help them socially. I mean, there's just like so many things that building works on. I get excited about it, right? So from a very small child, just being able to hold a block and stack 2 blocks on top of each other, very exciting. Make sure that you're reinforcing always. Reinforce and go, yay! We want to praise, right? But sometimes kids don't like that. When I used to clap and go, yay, that was aversive to my son. So I had to pair it with other things so that he liked being praised by me. So whatever the child likes, whether it's that they have the little bunny that they love, and Bunny comes over and snuzzes them, just goes ooh with them, or they get to hold Bunny when they do something well, or they like, tickles, or bubbles, pair whatever they love with the yay, you did the blocks, blow the bubbles, right? When kids get a little bit older, I do love the Duplos. I just love them. And in fact, this last year on our toy guide, which you can see on our website. It's right at the top. There's a little toy guide. We're going to leave it up all year long. We featured one of the Duplos that it is 3 animals, and you put the blocks together in different ways so you can change and put the head of one animal on another animal. Really fun, cute set that I think a lot of kids like. So, or you can just get the plain Duplos that are colors, right? You can use those for sorting colors, so you can use it for other lessons, but building. One of the things for kids who just aren't into blocks and just aren't into the building thing is that you create conflict. This is like, screenwriting 101. If there's no conflict, it's not interesting, right? So you build the Legos up, right? Or the Duplos or whatever. And then, you pick up whatever toy that there is, a car or whatever, and you crash into them and you make the noise and go, and the blocks fall over and you go, no, what happened? And then you build them up again. And kids love that. They love the crashing and the knocking down. Maybe not all of them, but a lot of them really love it. And if they love it, then you encourage them to crash their own blocks, right? Don't be afraid that they're going to spend the rest of their life knocking blocks down. That's not, you move on to other things eventually. But create some sort of a conflict, like it can be as simple, I have a husband who's a bit of a magician, so he would make a block disappear. Where did it go? Where did it go? And then my son would have to walk around, get the block, put it on top. So any kind of thing that you can do, you can put it on your head. Where's the block? I don't know where the block is, right? Be willing to be silly. We talked about that the other day. So you teach them to build and you teach them block imitation. There's a whole set of lessons and skills that lend itself to this. But when kids get a little bit older, you want to be finding other things to build with. Of course, feed the Lego thing, because that's a very positive, and as I said, it's a system, so you really can't fail with Legos. And I do love that about Legos. But there are other things that you can build with too, and it's important to teach kids other things. A deck of cards. Did you ever do the thing where you build the deck of cards and see who can build the highest? This is going to build hand skills. All of these things build hand-eye coordination. They deal with problem solving, trying things a different way. If you have older kids that you're trying to get involved, have them with the younger kid try to see who can build the biggest tower. And what happens is they learn through observation, which is a very important lesson, that they try to stick the cards and they can't make it happen, but older brother does it and lays down a bunch of cards on top, and the child learns and goes, oh, when you do that, it works, right? Very important skill. I was saying on Friday that there's a STEM lesson where they will give like 4 different kinds of pasta to a team of 5 kids playing against other teams of 5 kids, and they will say, build the highest tower that you can. You've got 12 minutes, right? And so they have like things like spaghetti and linguine, and they have lasagna noodles, and they have like ziti or penne, whatever you can get, and maybe some spiral pasta that really is not going to help them out, right? Don't spend a lot of money, but you can spend $3 or $4 and get a couple of different boxes of pasta and say, build something. And I'll tell you, I've watched this STEM lesson done so many times, and our kids get really into it when they understand what the rules are, that you got to get as high as you can just using the pasta. It's a crazy amount of fun. And they use it in lots of different ways. There's this thing in psychology that's called functional fixedness, and it's looking at something only one way and not being able to see that you can use it in other ways. And doing these kinds of lessons where it's like you're going to build a tower with pasta, right out the gate you're working on flexibility, right? But then one person will take the linguine and stick it on the penne and try to figure out a way to make it stand up, right? Whereas another person says, no, first I'm going to stick the lasagna this way, but they'll look at each other's thing and go, hey, that didn't occur to me. But now that I've seen it, I'm going to copy that and make, my lasagna tower, and then I'm going to stick the pasta on top, right? really good workout for the brain and fun and educational and something that you can do with your kiddos. So build and don't be afraid. You know, let your functional fixedness go to the roadside and say, okay, what have I got that they can build with today? I have a niece who she's a big reader, and she has a room. It's like a library room, but it's full of books, right? And her husband built her a Christmas tree out of books one year. There's, you know, that talk about letting your functional fixedness go. What could you give your kiddos? Could you give them books to build things with? Even the act of folding laundry, you can say, we're going to fold the laundry, and who can build the biggest stack of laundry before it falls over? Yeah, you might have to clean up a little bit afterwards, but you know, it's fun. Building is fun. And the other thing, a lot of hardware stores national chain hardware stores have a thing where you can go, might be every other Saturday or once a month. They really like to encourage young builders because they want to know that the next generation of people are going to come in and buy their wood and hammers and nails, right? So they have these clinics that they will do where they will build a craft. Guess what? It's free. So check out your local hardware store and see what their schedule is over the summer and bring them. Then they're going to learn about nails. The kit comes, they have tables set up, and the kids have to sign up to have a place, right? You have to reserve a spot because it's free. They have everything there for them, the wood, the nails, the glue, and the kit, and the paint. It's all free, and the kids sit there and you work with them to build the thing. They really learn a lot. So it's really fabulous. Now, if you have kids that are older, more advanced, and this is too baby for them, and they're already into building, find your local maker space. Find your local maker fair. You can Google and see maker space, maker lab, maker fair, and what you will find is like the Disneyland of making stuff. There's a place where my son goes where I have to pay a membership, a monthly membership, but they have 3D printers. They have a CNC machine. He got certified in CNC. This is the ultimate of build, where you design something on a computer screen with this particular software, and it's this whole thing you have to get certified in, and then you put a piece of material into this machine, and it's got a shield and everything so your hand's not there, and it gets cut according to what you put into the computer. Kind of high level, but it's about building, and some of the things that the teens and adults in his makerspace have built blow my mind. It's all precision, and sometimes it's metal, sometimes it's wood, sometimes it's glass, sometimes it's plexiglass. It's like, what do you want to build? So, oh my gosh, I've taken so much time with this. But anyway, building is amazing, and it's a great skill. You'll work on hand-eye coordination, all the fine motor skills, sometimes the big, gross motor skills, because there's pushing and pulling and twisting and turning, all of those things, but you're really working out the brain, and that's really what we want to see. So that's build. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to finish with splash, and then I'm going to get to a couple of things, questions that people wrote in, if it kills me. Stick with us. Hey, thanks for watching Autism Live. To subscribe, click here. And if you'd like to check out some more of our videos, click here.